You need to save this person immediately. They've been trying to reach you for 4 days. Archangel Michael says, listen to me now, because the window is narrow and the moment is already passing. For 4 days straight, a person who matters to your destiny has been trying to reach you and keeps getting pushed away by noise, delay, and interference. Tonight, you will stop the noise, clear the fog, and pull them out of danger. You noticed tiny signs and dismissed them, but the signs were real. A vibration you felt at 3:11 a.m., a call you meant to return but life got in the way, a message that landed in a folder you rarely check. The pattern is not random, it is a signal. This person is not a stranger to your spirit. They are tied to your path by a promise you made to yourself when you were stronger, braver, and more focused. They carry a piece of truth that will remove a weight from your chest the moment you hear it. On the first day, they tried the direct way. A call, a missed ring, your attention pulled elsewhere while the screen dimmed to black. They told themselves they would try again when the hour was kinder. On the second day, they wrote what their voice couldn't hold steady. The words were simple, but their hands were shaking, and the message sat unsent as they stared at the blinking cursor. When they finally pressed send, the signal dropped and the message broke in half. On the third day, they tried a path through someone you both know. They asked for a quick nudge in your direction, a small reminder, a casual, "Hey, call them back." But the reminder was swallowed by a busy hour, and the chance slipped like water. On the fourth day, the day you are reading this, they tried again with a note to themselves: no more fear. No more delay. They put everything on one more attempt, believing that if you heard even a piece of their voice, you would understand. This is the moment to prove them right. Breathe and still your mind. You are going to feel two things at once: urgency and clarity. Hold them both like a lantern in each hand and let the light meet in the middle. Here is what you will do. Open your recent calls and scroll slowly, line by line, until your spirit tugs at a name or an unknown number that looks familiar in a strange way. Don't rush, let recognition rise like warmth through your chest. Now check your messages, not just the obvious ones. Look in the filtered folders, the archived threads, the spam, the requests, the junk, the promotions, and any place you rarely look. 4 days is enough time for an important message to become buried by ordinary noise. Listen for any voicemail or voice note you skipped. Sometimes the universe speaks in a trembling whisper rather than a shout. When you hear the tremble, don't analyze it, answer it. If you find a half-finished message from them, understand what it means. People don't write halfway when they are careless, they write halfway when they are scared. The unfinished line is proof of a heart that still wants to live. This person is standing at the edge of a decision that could pull them into a dark room and bolt the door. They do not want that room, they want the door with light under it, and your name is written on that light. Your call will turn the handle. You will not lecture them. You will not demand explanations before you offer safety. You will say their name gently, and then you will say, "I've got you." If you need words, use these 3 sentences and let them carry you. Say, "I'm here. You're not alone. I'm ready to listen." Then be quiet, because silence can be a soft chair. There is a reason they chose you and kept choosing you for 4 days. You knew how to hold them once, and the memory of that feeling is the map they kept following back to your door. Your steadiness is medicine that doesn't come in bottles. You may feel a sudden pull to cry for no clear reason. That's your body recognizing an old chord being strummed. Tears can be a release valve, let them fall if they come. If fear rises in you, acknowledge it, then ask it to step aside. Fear is loud, but you are larger. You are a room that fear cannot fill. Trust the strange timings that keep repeating. The same hour on the clock, the same song in the background, the same street name you pass twice. Patterns are place markers for destiny. This person carries information that dissolves a knot in your life. It might be a truth you've sensed but couldn't prove, a confession that clears your name, or a key to a decision you've been postponing. When the words arrive, they will loosen something that's been tight for far too long. Now imagine the moment your call connects. Hear the soft intake of their breath, the tiny pause before your names meet. Feel how your spine lengthens with the certainty that you made the right choice. Keep them safe with your tone first, your plan second. Softness brings people out of hiding. Plans help them stay out. Suggest a safe, public place if you need to meet, and go with someone you trust if that helps you feel secure. Safety first, always, for both of you. You can be compassionate and careful at the same time. If meeting is not possible, create a clear container for the conversation. Say you will stay on the line as long as needed. Say you will call back if the call drops, and then actually do it. When they begin to speak, listen for the detail that feels like a door. The door may be a name, a date, a location, an object, or a simple sentence they can barely say aloud. When you hear it, say, "I understand," and let them continue. They may blame themselves for waiting this long. Gently remind them that reaching for help after 4 days is braver than never reaching at all. The door is open now, that's what matters. You are allowed to set boundaries. Being a safe harbor does not mean becoming the ocean. You can say what you can offer today and what you cannot. If they are in immediate danger, guide them to local emergency help and stay connected while they take each step. Keep your voice low and even, like a light held close to the ground. Calm is contagious. If their danger is emotional, be the steady breath until their breath matches yours. Let the pace slow. Let the ground return under their feet. You may hear about betrayal, debt, manipulation, or a secret that has grown too heavy to carry alone. You will not be shocked by the human condition. You will be precise with your care. If they blame you for not responding earlier, take a breath and say you're here now. Guilt won't unspool the past, but presence can stitch the future. Choose presence. Remember that saving someone does not always look like lifting them. Sometimes it looks like sitting with them so they can stand on their own. Stillness can be strength. If they ask you for a promise, make one you can keep. One call tomorrow. One check-in next week. One step that proves today wasn't an accident. Between your words, invite them to drink water, to breathe, to stand by a window and look outside. The world continues, and continuing is hope. Small actions are bridges that hold. If a name comes up that makes your stomach tighten, respect that signal. Your intuition is part of your protection. You don't have to walk into the same fire to rescue someone from it. You will notice the room around you becoming quieter. Even the hum of ordinary life seems to soften. That's what clarity sounds like when it arrives. If at any point the conversation feels bigger than the two of you, invite help from a professional you trust. Two steady hands can hold more than one. Referrals are not rejection, they are care multiplied. When the conversation closes, do not rush away from the feeling. Sit with it for a moment, like sitting with the person after they fall asleep in a hospital chair. Quiet companionship is holy work. After you hang up, write down what matters while it is still warm. Names, times, next steps, the one sentence that lit the room. Memory is a bridge, make it strong. If you decide to meet, choose daylight if possible. Choose a place with people, exits, and neutral ground. Choose a time that gives both of you breathing room before and after. Carry grace like a spare jacket. Sometimes people shiver when their fear leaves them. Offer warmth without making a show of it. You may feel tired, that's normal after carrying light. Drink water, walk a few steps, open a window. You are a person too, and people need tending. Do not tell yourself a story where you are the only hero. You are a chapter, not the whole book. Leave room for others to help and for the person to help themselves. If whispers come from outside voices, opinions, judgments, old echoes, let them pass like traffic behind a closed window. Your focus is the person in front of you and the quiet truth between you both. Everything else is noise. When the second call comes, and it will, answer with the same steadiness. Consistency is how trust becomes a path instead of a moment. Keep walking that path at a human pace. You will see signs in the next 24 hours that confirm the choice you made. A coincidence will land like a feather on your shoulder, obvious and gentle. Take it as the nod that says, continue. There will be a moment when they finally exhale without trembling. The air will change, even the light may look different. That's the instant a life turns by 1 degree toward safety. You helped create that turn. You didn't change them, you honored them. You didn't rescue them, you reached them. Hold your phone like a bridge, not a weight. Hold your voice like a key, not a hammer. Hold your heart like a door that opens and closes with wisdom. 4 days is long enough to learn what delay costs. Today is fast enough to start healing what delay created. This is not about blame, it is about choosing now. If you need to, set a reminder for tomorrow's check-in. Write a kind sentence you can send without overthinking. Let the relationship grow from a seed of reliability. When you speak again, ask what support looks like for them, not what it looks like for you. People bloom in different climates. You are learning the weather of their courage. Let them tell you when they feel stronger. Believe them when they do. Strength returns in quiet increments. There may be setbacks. There may be days when the phone is silent again. Silence is not failure, it is a pause where breath gathers. If their story involves a hard choice, help them list the options and their consequences. A clear list can be a staircase when the hill looks impossible. You are not pushing them up, you are lighting each step. Thank yourself, quietly, for answering when it mattered. Self-respect is fuel that keeps compassion alive. You did not delay yourself today. Remember the pattern that brought you here. Missed calls turned into a meeting point. Interference turned into intention. If someone asks why you cared, you can say, because the moment asked me to. That is enough. That is beautiful. In the days ahead, you will notice that your own life feels lighter. Helping someone walk out of a dark hallway often reveals a window in your own house you didn't realize was stuck. You opened theirs, and somehow yours opened too. Do not carry the whole story on your back. Carry your part with honor and put the rest down at night. Rest is responsibility fulfilled. If you ever doubt whether to answer, remember these 4 days. Remember how close a person can be to the edge while looking ordinary on the outside. Choose the call when your spirit nudges. You are not alone in this work. You are accompanied by unseen strength that grows louder when love gets practical. Practical love looks like showing up, staying calm, and keeping your word. You have already begun. The moment you decided to look for their message, something in the air changed. Decisions can be rescue ropes. Let today be the day you changed the pattern. Let tomorrow be the day the pattern held. Let the week be the new story neither of you knew how to start until now. When the door closes tonight, let gratitude sit with you a while. Not the loud kind, just the soft hum that says, "We made it through today." That hum is the sound of a new beginning. And if another person one day needs the same courage from you, you'll be ready even sooner. You will recognize the signs in a single glance. For days will never stretch that long again. You did something simple and holy, you answered. You did something rare and powerful, you stayed. You did something human and brave, you cared. Hold this like a small flame cupped in both hands. Walk it to the window and let it glow on your face. The neighborhood may not notice, but the night does. Return to your rest with the peace that follows obedience to a quiet call. Let your shoulders drop. Let your breath lengthen. If you wake in the night and think of them, smile and send a short blessing in your heart. The world moves by countless small compass turns. Tonight, 2 of them pointed home. When morning comes, you will know what to do. Because you already did it once. And beginnings like this teach your hands how to begin again. Archangel Michael says the thread has not broken, it has only stretched across 4 long days and now it winds back into your hands. You are not late anymore because you are here, awake, reading, ready. This is the moment where scattered pieces begin to gather and become a path. Return to the first clear step, make contact now, again, and then once more if needed. Repetition is not nagging, repetition is rescue when a person is slipping on the edge. Your steady cadence becomes the ground under their feet. If your call goes to voicemail, leave a short anchor of words. Say you will try again in 30 minutes and again in 2 hours. Then keep that promise like it is medicine. Send a message that is gentle and specific. Write their name, 1 line of care, and 1 simple next step. Specifics calm the storm, vague words feed it. If the platform feels crowded with noise, switch to a cleaner channel. Text becomes a phone call becomes a video becomes a safe public meeting. You are adapting to keep the connection alive. Archangel Michael says you will move with the precision of quiet courage. You will listen before you advise and protect before you correct. You are the warmth that lets truth thaw and move again. Hold your tone like a soft light. People emerging from fear squint at brightness and relax into glow. Your voice is the glow. When they speak, let the air widen around their words. Do not rush to fill pauses. Pauses are where courage blossoms. Silence is a bridge that carries the heaviest feelings. If the story arrives in fragments, accept the tempo. A person in distress does not speak in chapters, they speak in breaths. Your job is to catch each breath and lay them in order, one by one. You will hear about the moment the fear began. A text that changed everything, a door that closed, a face that turned away just when they needed it to turn toward them. This is where your kindness steps forward and stands guard. Name what you notice without accusation. Say you hear the weight, the confusion, the squeeze of time. Naming the feeling helps the feeling pass through. If their danger is physical or immediate, Guide them toward local emergency help and stay connected while they move. Speak in calm, simple directions like stepping stones across a river. Panic dissolves when the next stone is clear. If the danger is emotional, create a small routine on the call. Breathe in for 4 counts, hold for 4, out for 4, rest for 4. When 2 people breathe together, storms lose their claim on the room. Archangel Michael says your discernment will sharpen. You will feel when to nudge and when to wait, when to offer an option and when to let the moment rest. This is wisdom arriving on a quiet current. Invite hydration, food, and a change of posture. A sip of water, a bite of something gentle, standing to stretch by a window, small acts that remind a nervous system it is allowed to settle. The body holds doors the mind cannot open alone. If their story includes manipulation, write down the names and the pattern discreetly. Patterns repeated reveal the path out. You are collecting puzzle pieces, not to control, but to clarify. Offer to be present for one practical task. This could be making a call, drafting a message, canceling something unsafe, or booking a necessary appointment. One practical action pulls people out of spirals. Set a follow-up time with a simple phrase, same time tomorrow, I'll call. Reliability is the rope across the gap. Your consistency becomes momentum. If you feel the weight growing too heavy for 2, bring a 3rd safe person into the circle with consent. Circles protect better than lines when the wind rises. The point is not to be a hero, the point is to keep them safe. Your mind may try to replay what would have happened if you had answered earlier. Thank your mind for its concern and return it to the only place where you can act, here. Dwelling steals energy from doing. If they share a confession that stings, remember the scale of the moment. Being trusted with truth, even painful truth, is a sacred assignment. Respond with firmness and care, not heat. Boundaries remain your friends. You can offer presence without sacrificing sleep, empathy without abandoning your responsibilities, care without erasing yourself. Boundaries are how care survives. Archangel Michael says you will notice 3 confirmations in the coming hours. A sudden sense of peace mid-conversation, an unexpected message that aligns with safety, and a practical step that becomes easier than expected. These are the signs that the path is opening beneath your feet. Keep your notes organized. Capture times, commitments, and agreed next steps. When worry returns, notes turn panic into a plan. If finances are part of the trap, slow everything down. Urgency is where bad deals live and where pressure thrives. Nothing that is truly for them demands their panic. If shame shows up, meet it with kindness so steady that shame loses its costume and reveals simple regret. Regret is workable, shame tries to make people disappear. Your acceptance keeps them visible. Acknowledge your own feelings honestly. If you feel stirred, tired, hopeful, protective, say it simply in your heart, and let it pass like weather. You are allowed to be human while doing holy work. Invite them to a brief reflection at the end of each conversation. What felt helpful, what still feels heavy, what one step comes next. Reflection turns chaos into learning. Celebrate small wins, even private ones. A returned call, a calmer tone, a clear decision made without pressure. Small wins compound into safety. Archangel Michael says the fourth day becomes a hinge, and you are turning it. The room behind you is fear, the room ahead holds steady ground. You are not dragging them, you are walking alongside and pointing toward light. If there is a person who keeps reappearing as a source of confusion, avoid being pulled into debates about their intentions. Focus on impact, not speculation. Impact is where safety decisions are made. If threats appear through digital channels, take screenshots, save records, and avoid direct engagement that escalates. Documentation now can be protection later. Calm, clean records beat heated replies. Remind them of their strengths, not as flattery but as memory. Name the resilience you have seen, the loyalty, the honesty, the humor that survived. People fight harder for themselves when they remember who they are. Check the basics: rest, food, water, shelter, legal safety, supportive relationships. Crisis often hides in the cracks of the basics. Where a basic is missing, prioritize it early. Encourage healthy privacy, not secrecy. Privacy guards dignity, secrecy grows darkness. You are building a privacy that heals. If they feel guilt for bothering you, meet it with a simple truth: care is not bothered by care. You are here because compassion moves in you like a river, not like a coin slot. Your presence is a choice you are glad to make. When you end a call, end it slowly. 2 soft sentences, a recap of the next step, and a warm goodbye. Slow endings tell the nervous system it is safe to rest. Watch your own pacing. After intense contact, step outside, drink water, and let your eyes find a horizon. Horizons remind your body that life is bigger than a single room. Archangel Michael says do not underestimate the medicine of consistency. For days of misfires become 4 weeks of steady touch when you anchor them with care. The long arc belongs to the patient. If they are tangled in obligations they cannot meet, help them craft clear, kind declines. "I can't do this right now" is a sentence that repairs people. Scripts lower the threshold for courage. If grief arrives, let it be real. Grief is not a mess to be cleaned, it is a love that has nowhere to go for a while. Sit with it until it finds a path. If anger arrives, guide it into words that do not harm. Anger wants movement. Movement can be writing, walking, or changing a locked setting that should have been changed long ago. Healthy movement keeps anger from burning down the wrong house. If hope feels thin, borrow some for them. Lend phrases like, "This can improve," "You are not stuck with this," and "We have options." Hope on loan still counts as hope. Archangel Michael says, be precise with kindness and brave with truth. You will not enable patterns that harm. You will not abandon a person learning to choose themselves. This balance is your gift. When you make plans, put dates beside them. A plan without dates is a wish, a plan with dates is a path. Paths get feet. If the person tries to repay you with urgency you cannot manage, thank them and keep your rhythm. Your steady pace teaches them a sustainable speed. Rescues done at sprint pace collapse, rescues done at walking pace last. Tend the spaces you live in. A swept corner, a folded blanket, a clear desk become symbols that order is possible. Symbols matter when chaos has been present. Choose one sentence that becomes your internal anchor for this season. Something like, "I respond with calm and care." Anchors keep boats from drifting when tides pull. If you make a mistake, and you will, because you are human, admit it quickly and correct the course. Quick humility repairs trust faster than perfect performance. The point is movement towards safety, not flawless choreography. Archangel Michael says your listening will transform outcomes before your advice ever does. People who feel deeply heard make clearer choices. Clarity is the quiet hero of this story. You may feel a tender ache as you witness their bravery. Let the ache be gratitude wearing a soft coat. Courage in another person is a mirror that shows your own strength. Recommend rest that fits their life, a nap, a warm shower, a walk in a familiar place, a quiet cup of tea, 10 minutes of stillness. Rest is not reward, it is fuel. Fuel is how journeys finish. If at any point they disappear from contact again, do your small scheduled reaches exactly as promised without panic. A simple, thinking of you, same time here if needed, keeps the doorway visible. Doors that stay visible are easier to walk through. Protect your own sleep. Set your phone to allow only the necessary alerts, and then consciously lay the day down.